2022, a home in Punta Gorda, Florida sold for $540,000. That same home just closed for $320,000. A house in Austin, Texas that traded for $700,000 at the peak just went for $412,000. And a condo in Fort Lauderdale that was worth $1.39 million 3 years ago, pending at $950,000. That's not a correction, that's a collapse. And it's no longer confined to one state or one region. According to Resi Club, 99 of the nation's 300 largest housing markets, that's 1 in 3, are now posting year-over-year price declines.
Home sales across the country are seeing the biggest drop in a decade. The latest report from the National Association of Realtors shows U.S. housing prices are beginning to ease as the real estate market slows.
They're low on the list today. But it wasn't too long ago that they were the fastest growing city in the country.
A year ago, it was just 31. The bleeding started in Florida, then it spread to Texas, then Arizona, then Colorado and California. And now Realtor.com is projecting price declines in 22 of the 100 largest U.S. metros through 2026. We've pulled the data from Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, Resi Club, and Atom. And today we're breaking down 15 cities where the damage from peak is the most severe. Some of these are down 25 to 40% and still falling. We're going from bad to catastrophic. City number 5 is the one nobody saw coming. And at the end, we'll tell you exactly what to do. But first, you need to understand why this is spreading, because it follows a pattern, 3 ingredients every time. First, overbuilding. The cities that boomed hardest during COVID attracted builders like moths to a flame. Texas permitted 169,000 single-family homes for 2026 alone. Florida holds over 15% of all active listings in the entire country. All that supply is now crashing into a market with no buyers. Second, migration collapse. Florida's domestic net migration cratered 93%, from 310,892 in 2022 to 22,517 in 2025. Texas dropped 70% from 222,154 to 67,299. The people who were supposed to buy all those homes stopped coming. Third, affordability broke. 65% of U.S. households cannot afford a median-priced new home. The income needed is $111,252. The typical household earns $86,185, a $25,000 gap. When nobody can afford to buy, prices have one direction to go. When all 3 hit the same city at once, that's the collapse recipe. And these 15 cities are cooking with all 3. Let's go. 15, Colorado Springs, Colorado, down about 5% from peak and accelerating. The military and defense economy that props up this market is being squeezed by federal budget uncertainty. Inventory is climbing fast and sellers are chasing prices down. 14, Jacksonville, Florida. Was supposed to be Florida's affordable alternative. Prices are softening, listings are piling up, and the condo market is getting crushed by the same special assessment crisis hitting the rest of Florida. Inventory is up over 30% year over year. Days on market are climbing fast. 13, San Antonio, Texas. Average home value has dropped to $256,363, down 3.9% year over year. Texas saw a 36% increase in completed foreclosures, and San Antonio is one of the hardest hit metros. 12, Denver, Colorado. Denver is expected to see a 3.4% decline through 2026, according to Realtor.com, steeper than it sounds when prices were already stretched. The state overall is down about 2.4%, with metro areas like Denver dropping 4.3%. The remote work boom inflated this market beyond what local incomes could support. Now that boom is unwinding. 11, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix was one of the biggest pandemic boom towns in America, and it's been giving that back steadily. Price growth has reversed with declines around 2.5 to 3%. Investor activity that drove a huge chunk of the price surge has pulled back significantly. When institutional money exits, retail sellers feel every bit of the pain. 10, Dallas, Texas. This one stings because DFW was supposed to be bulletproof. Dallas is now down 4.1% year over year, the steepest decline among major Texas metros. The outer suburbs, where builders went wild, Prosper, Salina, Melissa, are getting hammered. Dallas had 116 bank repossessions in November 2025 alone. 9. Stockton, California. Projected to see a 4.1% drop in 2026, the largest decrease in California. Stockton has been one of the most volatile markets in the country for 2 decades running. Affordability is crushing buyer demand, and inventory is building fast. 8. Tampa, Florida. Average home value down 6% year over year. Condos down 12%. Over 11 months of condo inventory. 2 direct hurricane hits in 2024. Realtor.com projects another 3.6% decline through 2026. Storm-damaged areas saw drops up to 30% from peak. Tampa was a Sun Belt darling. Now it's a cautionary tale. Real quick, if this is helping you see the real picture, hit that notification bell. We break this down every week, and the viewers who catch it first are the ones making the smartest moves. 7. Washington, D.C. Here's the one that has nothing to do with a normal housing cycle. DOGE eliminated over 200,000 federal positions. Home listings surged 25% year over year. Median listing prices dropped nearly 15%. In Alexandria, Virginia, listings jumped 41%. This didn't happen over 2 years like Austin. It happened in months. When 200,000 high-paying jobs vanish from a region, everything connected to that economy cracks. 6. Northport to Sarasota, Florida, the largest year-over-year home price decline among all major U.S. metros nationally, down 17.4% from the 2022 peak. Condo values down 12.2% year-over-year. Realtor.com forecasts another 8.9% decline through 2026. Homes are sitting over 100 days. The insurance crisis, the condo crisis, and the migration collapse are all hitting here simultaneously. 5. Cape Coral to Fort Myers, Florida, down 18.8% from the 2022 peak, another 9.19% just in the last 12 months. Condo values cratered 14.2% year over year. Realtor.com projects a further 10.2% decline, the only U.S. metro facing a double-digit plunge. Insurance premiums averaging over $8,600 per year. Hurricane Ian devastated this area in 2022 and it never recovered. 5 years ago, Forbes called it one of the best places to invest. Now the Wall Street Journal calls it the worst housing market in America. 4. Miami, Florida. Strip away the luxury headlines and here's the truth. Condo values down 7.2% year over year. Broward County condos down 11.9%, Palm Beach down 11.4%. UBS ranked Miami the #1 most at-risk housing market in the world for bubble risk, exceeding the peak of the 2006 bubble. There were 251% more condo sellers than buyers last summer. Buildings locked out of conventional financing because they can't meet insurance requirements. The math is broken and nobody at the top wants to admit it. 3. Punta Gorda, Florida, down 25.3% from peak, another 11.93% in just the last year, the worst of any metro in the country. Condo values down 18.6%, the steepest condo decline in all of Florida. A small retirement community turned pandemic gold rush turned the single biggest correction story in American real estate. Local experts say sellers are better off getting out now because prices aren't coming back. 2. Austin, Texas, the city that was supposed to be the next Silicon Valley. Median sold price down 25.22% from the May 2022 peak. Zillow shows a 6.8% decline over just the past year. Inside the city, price per square foot is down over 26% from peak. 48% of all active listings have had a price cut. Homes are taking 91 days to sell, the slowest since 2011. Classic boom-bust textbook. 1. The entire I-35 Sunbelt corridor. And the #1 spot isn't a city, it's a pattern. Because what we just walked you through isn't 15 isolated stories. It's one story playing out across a 2,000-mile arc from Austin through San Antonio, Dallas, Phoenix, Denver, Tampa, Cape Coral, and all the way down to Punta Gorda. Every city that boomed on migration, overbuilt on cheap debt, and priced out local buyers is now correcting. 1 in 3 of the 300 largest U.S. metros is declining. A year ago, it was 1 in 10. That's the spread. And it's accelerating. Here's what to do. If you're a homeowner in any of these 15 markets, check your equity today. Not 2022 equity. Today's equity. If you're below 10%, you need a plan for the next 2 to 3 years because these corrections don't snap back. If you're a seller, price to today's market on day 1. In these cooling markets, sellers who list too high end up sitting longer and cutting deeper later. The ego price costs more than the realistic price. Every time. If you're a buyer, your moment is arriving. Not everywhere, and don't catch a falling knife. But these cooling markets offer more negotiating power, more inventory, and more sellers willing to offer concessions than we've seen in years. Get pre-approved, know your numbers, and when the math works at today's prices, move. This isn't 2008, but it's not normal either. The Sunbelt boom is unwinding. The migration engine has stalled, and the cities that went up the fastest are coming down the hardest. The one thing you cannot afford to do right now is nothing. Subscribe with the bell on. Drop a comment telling us which city on this list shocked you the most. See you in the next one.